Very quickly, I just want to give you a little background of how the task force got to be where it is. Last summer, I got a call from Doug Anstedt from the Kansas Press Association, and he had been talking with his members about some issues, and he wondered if we were talking about the same issues in Iowa, and turns out we were. And we called Doug Cruz, and it turns out the same thing was happening in Missouri. So the three of us got together to talk about, is there a way we can work together to try to help newspapers with these particular issues? That led to us each going back to our states, recruiting 3 board members from each of our 3 boards, and they became the members of the multi-state digital task force. And we had a couple conference call meetings with that task force to talk about what they wanted to do, what they thought was possible, where they wanted to go. That led to a meeting at the Kansas City Star November 20th last year. By that time, we realized that any solutions that we were going to come up with would have to be more than just 3 states. And there's an organization called the Newspaper Association Managers, which is made up of all the press association managers in America. And of course, Doug and I at the time were all members of NAM, and we knew how it worked, and we knew how important it was. And so we started inviting any press association in the country to come to these meetings, and we had a meeting in November 20th. There were many more people that weren't task force members than were at that meeting, and they all came in with a lot of ideas. It was a facilitated one-day meeting. At the end of the meeting, the task force essentially said, we want to develop a first draft of a business plan to see how these things would work. And what they want to do, what they really felt was important to do is this. Number one, similar to the music industry, a number of years ago where you could go online and steal any song you wanted and not have to pay for it. Content is now being stolen off of websites, sometimes when people don't even know it. It's being repackaged, it's being sold, and the originator of the content, the people who paid for it, don't know about it, they don't get compensated for it, so on and so forth. Once some court cases happened and iTunes was invented, that music problem was pretty much solved. Now producers of music get a piece of the action. They don't have to produce any record or CD or anything, any physical product. The money comes in because people are paying for the use of it. And is there a way we can do something like that for newspapers, so that if an unauthorized user of content is found to be and asked to pay a royalty, and the royalty would flow back to this organization and eventually back to this newspaper, would that work?